Welcome back to Women in the Bible series. We are on to lady number 13, and that is Lady Sarai. Sarai was also called Sarai at some point until until God changed her name and her husband's name, like from Abram to Abraham, and Sarai became Sarah, right? The mother of many nations. That's what the name means. And so Sarah was married to Abraham, who was also the father of Isaac. So she was the mother to Isaac. We are told that this lady, she was so beautiful. She was so beautiful that one of the great kings of her time actually wanted to marry her in her old age. I mean, remember at the time, if the king was going to marry someone, it was usually someone younger who was a virgin, who was like, but this was an old woman that the king was like, she is beautiful. So you can imagine just how beautiful she must have been, like if she could like catch the eye of a king at the time. So Abraham and her wife Sarah, the one we're talking about right now, they lived a nomadic life because Abraham was told by God that go to the land that I will show you, and it was at the time when Sarah was married to Abraham. So she was never just in one place. Some part of their life, or the most part of their lives, they were just moving from place to place because, well, God asked them to do that. So what are the most amazing parts of Sarah's personality? I think she's really a loved woman. You know, you remember the story of Sarah, that she asked her husband to sleep with another woman to give her a child. Like, that's such a hard ask, you know, or maybe at the time it wasn't, but I think that's a hard ask. But for a woman to boldly ask something like that of her husband, she like go be with another man, I don't know. I just think that she really is a woman who like is brave enough to ask for the impossible. And then the second part about her is that she followed her husband. I mean, a nomadic life, like God didn't tell the husband where exactly they were going, but something about Sarah, she was like, I'm going with my man. Like, I'm following, I'm just following. We don't get anywhere in scripture where she was actually saying, I'm tired, I don't want to go anymore. Just ask God to tell you where exactly we are going. Like, how far are we? Like, literally, no. She wasn't complaining. She was following, and she was doing it with grace. I mean, we don't get anything like that in scripture, so I guess she never complained. Number 3, she believed that she could have a child. I believe at some point, for her to even receive a miracle of having a child like Isaac, she really believed at some point. So just believing the impossible in your old age, when it seems like it's so impossible for you to get anything and you eventually get it, that shows that she's a woman of faith. And then the down part about her character, personality, I mean, lady, she got patient. I mean, she eventually got her miracle, but there was a point where she was impatient, like asking a man to, like, asking for plan B even after God had told you that, look, I'll give you this thing, but she wanted to make her own plans. Like, that is not right. Like, and that was a mistake. I think we see everywhere in scripture that one of the worst mistakes after the mistake that Eve made to eat the fruit with her husband Adam, I think this is one of the really most painful mistakes that we see women in the Bible doing, like getting impatient and getting your husband to do something wrong. That is just terrible. And then number 2, I think she acted cruelly to someone, you know, like she asked her maidservant, like her husband, to sleep with her maidservant, but after they had a child, she resented the child and resented the woman to a point where she cast them out. Like, really, I mean, she got them in that situation. So for her to act like she's the victim suddenly, like, no, I can't take this anymore, boot her out. You see this tendency that I told you, like, she's like, that woman's like, I want this, I want that. And this is one of those things, like putting someone out because she, I don't know, you know, I mean, she brought everyone to this position. So I don't know, should she have taken responsibility and kept her? I don't know what would have been comfortable for her, but the way she threw the lady out, I think that's just cruel, especially because it's something that she got herself into. You know, let me know what you think about this. Like, you get yourself in trouble, you involve yourself with someone and something, and then at the end of the day you want to turn around and be the victim of the circumstance. Like, what is going on, Lady Sarah? All right, these are the reflection questions in discussing and learning from her awesome profile. I think she's awesome nonetheless. Is there anything that has been calling for patience in your life? You know, I believe that once in a while, just sit with your journal and write 12 things that are calling for patience in my life, and write them down. I have a feeling that if you are aware of things that are calling for your patience, you might be more intentional in allowing yourself to stretch, in terms of to stretch into being more patient about that aspect, so that it doesn't take you, like you don't end up making plan Bs that will have you getting an Ishmael that you'll resent later, you know. So what are the things that are calling for patience in your life? Number 2, what are you doing to look vibrant and lovely even in your old age? They say that after you turn 25, your skin stops producing as much collagen. So really, aging on the skin, like wrinkles and everything, starts at 25. And doctors have it that in your 30s, that's when like lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure, diabetes, and all these arthritis and all of these autoimmune diseases actually really develop and start manifesting. So really in your 20s and 30s, that's when aging really starts. So the question is, what are you doing to look vibrant and young, such that when you're in your old age? People that are old in our time, they are let's say senior citizens, right? You're a senior citizen if you're over 55 years old. So the question is, what are you doing now as a woman? Like even if you're 54, like what are you doing so that you can remain vibrant even post 55? So those are the questions that I have for you that we can reflect and talk about. Remember, pop it on chat in the comments so that we can hear from you. The last question I have for you, reflecting, you and I have to reflect, what major decisions have you made that has affected your family, and have you learned from it? You know, I believe that there are those decisions that we make individually as women that maybe just affect us alone individually, but you know, woman, the moment you're married, the moment you have a family, most of the decisions that you make, they don't have consequences on you alone. They usually affect people that are in close proximity, like in a social circle that you are in, your friends, maybe even at work, or even worse off, your family or your children. So can you list maybe 3 decisions that you have made recently that you know, because you have made they have affected your family? You know, the consequences are felt not just by you but also by your family. You know, I know very well that this might even be a painful exercise. I have personally made like a decision that has affected my family, whether it was good or bad. Please feel free to reflect on that and talk about that. But for discussion and for us to keep the conversation going as ladies, please let me know if Sarah was sitting here and now on this seat today, what questions would you ask her? What would you want to know from her? And let's play around it, knowing her mindset, knowing the grace of God that's upon her life. Let's see what other ladies suggest, like what she could have said. The question that I would have had for Sarah was, lady, what did you do to keep young? Because you know you know how it is, women, you have to plug the next lady. You know, let me know, what are you doing? Are you taking your vitamin C supplements? Are you jogging? Are you drinking lots of water? Like, what exactly are you doing to keep yourself young? Okay, if there's someone who's been told like you're younger than your age, please also let us know in the comments like what you have been up to. So until the next episode, goodbye for now.